Aloha friends, it's Robert Selleck. Welcome to the Blue Planet Surf YouTube channel. Here at Blue Planet, we've got thousands of people into stand-up paddling and kayaking. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between kayaking and stand-up paddling and which one is the best choice for you. So there's no easy answer to which one is better. It's just what matters is which one's the best one for you. So I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of stand-up paddling versus the pros and cons of kayaking. All right, so let's talk about stand-up paddling first. To me, stand-up paddling gives you a unique perspective because you're standing up higher from the water. You're able to look down into the water easier. You can see what's on the bottom. You can see marine life, fish, turtles, dolphins, whatever's in the water. You have a nice perspective of what's underwater just because you got a better angle looking down into the water versus sitting down. You get more glare and reflection off the surface of the water when you're looking down. Another advantage to me is that you're standing up. So basically, I spend a lot of time sitting down at work. So when I'm out exercising, having fun in nature, I like to be standing up. It also gives me a full body workout. So it starts with my toes and feet, my legs, my core muscles, shoulders, arms, back, and everything gets a good workout when you're stand-up paddling. So it's like a full body workout. So one of the downsides of stand-up paddling is that you're probably more likely to fall in. So if you're struggling with balancing and so on a stand-up paddleboard, because of the higher center of gravity, you're more likely to fall into the water. So if you're going out in very cold conditions, cold water, cold weather, and you don't want to get wet, you don't want to fall in, sitting down on a kayak is just going to give you lower center of gravity and less likely to fall in or tip over on a kayak than on a stand-up paddleboard. Okay, next let's talk about the advantages of kayaking. One of the big advantages of kayaking is that you have a lower center of gravity because you're sitting down, you're lower to the water, so it's much easier to stay balanced. So that's an advantage. You know, like I said, the disadvantage is that at the lower angle, you get more reflection on the water surface. So when you're looking down, it's a little bit harder to see the bottom, especially if it's a little bit further away. So you don't have that standing up vantage point, but the balancing is easier. And if you have no experience paddling, kayaking is a little bit easier. Also, you have a two-sided paddle. So it's a little bit easier to make the paddle go straight because you're paddling on both sides. You don't have to switch sides with the paddle as on a stand-up paddleboard. And you can also use the paddle to brace on either side. So the balancing is definitely nice. And a sit on top kayak is easy to get back up on and so on. If it's cold weather, having a sit inside kayak is nice because you can have it covered. So it's a little bit warmer inside the kayak for your legs and feet. And also you have a lower center of gravity. You're basically sitting inside the kayak. So your bottom is basically almost on the bottom of the kayak, which is under the water surface. So having the lower center of gravity of a sit inside kayak is going to be more stable than a kayak like this one. Especially this one has a seat on top of the kayak, so your center of gravity is a little bit higher. But this kayak is really wide and stable, so that makes it easy to balance. Another advantage is that if you're paddling with someone else, you want to paddle together with someone else, you can get a two-person kayak, which is made for two people. It has plenty of stability and volume, versus trying to use a stand-up paddleboard that's really designed for one person, and paddling on it together, especially for two larger adults, can be very tippy, and it's also harder to paddle for both people to paddle. So it's usually on a stand-up paddleboard, if you're going with two people, it'll be one person paddling and the other one is just a passenger. So that's, I would say, some of the advantages of kayaking. And definitely if you're doing it for the first time, you have no experience paddling, I would say try a kayak first, and then if you're comfortable in that, you can move on to a stand-up paddleboard. This kayak I'm using right here is like a very stable fishing kayak. It's wide and stable, high volume, very easy to balance on. If you have a tippier kayak, you might need to use your blade to brace yourself for balancing. So there's definitely advantages to sit inside kayak, but for nice weather, paddling, and entry-level use, the sit-on-top kayaks are probably the most user-friendly to use. I hope this video really helped you choose between stand-up paddling and kayaking. Hopefully you can try them both and make up your mind which one you like better. But if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the Blue Planet Surf YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the water. Aloha.